All right. So.
Are you opposed to video after?
Yeah, YouTube. Okay. Okay. So we have our hexadecimal panel here. We can see we've got the design panel. And what we want to do is we want to hook up the event, basically hook up the calculation to the button. Okay. So we'll learn a little bit later on about what they call like an MVC, or model view controller design pattern. But for today, we're just going to hook the event up directly. Okay. So the first step, or the easy way of doing this, okay, is that we're just going to double click onto our button, and you can see that NetBeans will automatically generate some handling code there for this event. Okay, so just to go back, what we did is we double clicked onto the convert button. This is a button that we've already set up, and when we double click on it, it's going to bring us to this method. Okay, this method here has the convert button action. Okay, all of the buttons have they call like a method called action performed. And it's part of the action listener interface. Okay, so we'll get into some of the details on that a little bit later. But what we need to know right now is that if we put some code inside this function, that when that button is clicked, it's going to execute that code. Okay, that's the important idea. So what we can do is we can start by just creating a little JOption pane .show message dialog. And then here we'll put in null and then some value, for example, hello. Okay. You'll notice that we've got this error here. Anybody know how we can fix that? Yeah, we got to click import, add import. Okay. So we have a little message dialog box. So when we run the program, okay, like this, when we click on the button, we should get a dialog box, which we get. Okay, so you can see that that code is now executing when that event occurs. Okay, everybody's convinced? Okay. So the next step is going to be that what do we want to do in this calculation?
Convert the string.
Yeah, we want to convert the string, and we want to convert it from plain text into hexadecimal. Okay? Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that easily or not. We'll see. But we know for sure that we need to get the text from one to the other. Okay? So why don't we start by saying that we're going to extract the value from the first input text box, and then we're going to put that same value in the output text box. Okay? So we can do that by creating a string variable. String value equals input text field dot. And then there's a method that we can call that will return the value of the text value. Get text, that's right, get text. Okay? And so we now have this value inside the option pane. So what I'll do, I'm going to move my JOption pane below there, and rather than printing hello, I'm just going to output the value. Okay? I'm just going to test this to make sure it works. So I'm going to run the program to see if it works, test it. So I'm going to enter some text here, test 1. I'm going to click convert, and we can see that we've got a text box here that says test 1. So I've captured the input and I've placed it into my option pane. Okay. So rather than just putting the text into the J option pane, what we really want to do is we want to do something to the text and then put the text into the text field. So what we'll start is we'll just put it right in for now. We'll say output text field dot, and then the function we're going to call is set text. We're going to pass in the value. Okay. I'm going to comment out the text box. We don't need to see the text or the the J option pane. We don't need to see that right now because we'll be able to tell because it'll update the output text field. Okay. So we're going to run that now, and I'll just put in test 1. Okay, we can see that it's passing the value from one text field to the next. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's possible you're going to have an error. So you'll want to take a look at that code. Just because we're recording this live, so I'm just going to carry on here, okay? Rather than getting caught up in side events. So in order to convert the text from string to hex, does anybody know how to do that? Does anybody know how to convert a string from text to hex?
String from?
Does anybody know? I don't. Not off the top of my head, I don't. Well, what we could do, what we'll do, where's that thing here? I hope it, what did it do, crash? Okay, so we'll just pause this. Alright, so we're going to put the code that we've got here. This is a little function which we found courtesy of the web. Okay, and I'm going to import big integer here. Okay, now you'll notice how we pulled that off Google. So what did we put in? String to hex. Okay, and we found a little snippet. It's important to be able to find what you're looking for. Okay, because if you just try to find the whole program, yeah, you probably could find one, but it isn't necessarily what you want. So what we need to do is we need to call this function in between this little transaction. So we're going to say value is equal to 2hex value. Okay, we're going to output the result, and hopefully if this thing works, then we should have it working. Okay, so we'll put in a test here, test 1, and then we'll convert it to hex. Now that to me doesn't look right.